Okay, so today we are reading from page 282, long form journal prompts, and now we're on to the second hub. Yesterday, it was the first hub where we did the exercise and we talked about the creation of like this safe place. And the first hub, so each of these long form journal prompts represents like a sequential creation, there's kind of a chronological order of operations creation of like a foundation, and each next hub relies on some stability and some robustness of the previous hub. And so the safe place that we created yesterday is really about being able to establish a sense of like embodied trust in yourself. There's a saying that's like a bird doesn't, I'm gonna like butcher this, but it's like, a bird on a branch is not doesn't trust the branch, they trust their wings. And so the first hub level of trust is that quality, but to be able to embody it is to be able to find the sensation of physical safety in ourselves that we can either like that on some level we can access at any point. Because the thing is, as we progress in this practice, the upper hubs begin to challenge the relative capacity and dynamism of the lower hubs. So feeling unsafe is winds up becoming arising with really being able to express anger and power in the third hub, being able to express autonomy and individuality in increasing ways, and even to be able to see things more clearly. And this is one of the, in the sixth hub and even into the seventh hub, that practice where we start, and even, I mean, this happens in all of the hubs, is that there's increasing levels of awareness. And without having the physical sensibility of being able to create trust and safety within your body, it's not this objective reality that I am safe. It's like, can I feel safe? How do I create that, like reconnect to my trust in myself? And there's a number of ways to do it. This journaling is exercise is one way to do it, and I won't go further into that for today because all of these have kind of like infinite discussion points. But in the second hub with feelings and emotions, and this long form journaling is about feeling, and it's exploring feeling. Now, typically, let's see how to put this. To feel more deeply, most people are good at feeling bad. Not feeling great is, um, like feeling anxiety, feeling fearful, feeling shame, like having shitty feelings is something like most people are like pretty like have capacity with. So in terms of expanding our second hub capacity, one of the things we're doing is we're actually expanding our ability to feel good. And then as a result, we expand our ability to feel bad in a very particular way, which is to be comfortable with increasing levels of difficult emotions. So being prepared for what arises as the practice develops, and to be able to be present and feel and sense deeper, more difficult truths and emotions, and see things about ourselves that are long buried, long hidden under adaptations. And we really can, I mean, there's no better way to understand the purpose of an adaptation than to soften or dissolve it. But to come back to really who we truly like, there's such a sense of recognition. It's really coming back to this part of ourselves. It's incredibly familiar. But in order to do that, that processing requires that our ability to feel and our ability to know our emotions and be able to access them, that we are that we are building that capacity. So in this journal prompt, this is really about bringing more, I guess, like, I'd call it literacy, but that's not exactly what it is. It's just kind of more capacity and consciousness to feelings, like the feelings that we like. A lot of feeling is like, I don't like it when I'm but it's like, okay, well, what is the good version of that? And I don't know. There's a lot more I could say on this, but it's just not really coming up as like particularly articulate. So I'm not going to kind of battle it out. But whatever comes up as I read, or I'll just I'll shout it out. So this journaling prompt it's, second hub, long form feeling and emotion. And these prompts help connect your feelings and emotions with the things that matter to you. So choose a prompt from the list below, say it to yourself, and close your eyes for a few breaths as you allow your imagination to participate in the exercise. When you open your eyes, write about whatever has come to mind. We'll do this together. So notice if you feel any changes in your body, such as softening, tensing, relaxing, or pleasant feelings, unpleasant feelings. If it makes you nervous, if it's like you start to have like other shoes going to drop feelings or whatever, just whatever arises. Read what you've written and underline anything that feels particularly important. A real example is from a client who wrote, "I feel safe when I'm with people and trust and feel a sense of optimism for what the future will hold." In this case, there was a genuine surprise for this person that the sense of clarity and optimism for the future was tied to feelings of safety. This same person wrote, "I feel joy when collaborating with others and feel like there's something to look forward to." So let's do this. There are 6 prompts, and let's see for time. I'll do this relatively. I'm gonna speed this up just a little bit, and if you want more time, if you're following along and you wanna do it, you can press pause. So the first prompt, and we wanna find, like, a relative level of calm in our bodies for this, or just if possible, or just notice, like, the state that you're in coming into this. Make note of that. I'm gonna say the prompt. And so the first one is, I feel safe when. Now, close your eyes and for a few breaths, allow your imagination to participate in this exercise. So I feel safe when. Now, the important thing is to discount the first thing that arises is like, that's not it. It's like whatever arises, allow it to just show itself to you. Don't have ideas, or at least try not to have ideas of like what it's supposed to be. Just watch what arises. I feel safe when. So now Use it, write down. Just take a moment just to document this, and one of the things is that's helpful is that, especially if there's a lot of emotions and feelings that will come up, that there is a that you can kind of mark them a little bit. So you can track them in this exercise. So write down anything, open your eyes, notice how your body feels, and write about whatever came to mind. And if you feel like really prompted, like there's a lot that came up, press pause and write. Capture it before it kind of slips back into the unconscious. Bring it forward. And once you're done writing, look over what you wrote and notice if there's any words or surprising notions that you want to kind of underline or really pull forward. And one of the things is this can bring more self-awareness. Be like, oh, that surprises me. That's actually interesting. That's something I want to pay special attention to now. Like even to the point of that, the thing where it's like, well, you want to be, a positive thinker, right? But if we don't have, sometimes it's like, well, what am I supposed to think about if I have positive thoughts? It's like these things. Think about these things. Know how to recognize them. So to bring these forward, it's to recognize them and to appreciate them more, to appreciate them in people and situations and circumstances. Because a lot with feelings and emotions is we can unconsciously be hyper vigilant and really pay attention to stuff we don't like. And then sort of be like, yeah, no, I know what I like. It's like, but to really bring it forward and to be actively participating and noticing when you see it in the world and migrating towards it. So the next prompt. I feel joy when close your eyes or just cast your eyes downward and think like, what was the first thing that popped into your head? Was it a face? Was it a place? Was it a feeling? Was it an activity? I was like, what does that joy feel like? Where do you feel it in your body? Does your body feel more free? Is there a part of you that just sort of lights up? Does your heart glow? Is there a smile on your face? I feel joy when. So for a few breaths, allow your imagination to participate in the exercise. Press pause if you want a little bit more time with this. Yeah, feels nice. Even something to notice is like the comfort and joy, right? And how comfort and joy can be kind of like oppositional, so it can be like, well, is the comfort, staying cozy, which is really nice, like in your safe place, curled up, with a book or with at home? Or is the joy, getting up and going out and taking a walk, doing some yoga, going for a run, doing something, is there action associated with the joy? And not being preferential, just saying, like, one is more morally or, like, superior in one way, but to maybe just even reposition this is like, is this a comfort or a joy time? When you're sitting on the couch and you're like, "Well, I'd like some joy." Instead of I'm lazy and I should do something, it's like, let's put some joy in here. Let's do some stuff that, is creates optimism, creates a feeling of being excited about things. So for now, so come back into this and write down anything that's come up. It's maybe surprised you. Or like, whoa, I didn't realize that was going to be the thing that I was going to think about first. If you want to write some more, again, press pause and really get into it. And when you're done writing, look back and just like see what really stands out to you. Either like circle it, underline it, or maybe like write the keywords in the left-hand margin or whatever. Some way to really take a second pass on it and pull forward some of the key notions. And we'll move on to the third prompt. There's 6. There's 6. I was gonna say there's 1. I was like, oh my God. Okay. So the third prompt is, I am powerful when. So close your eyes and take a few breaths as you allow your imagination to participate in the exercise. I am powerful when. And think about, so when you do something, realize that in the moments when we do feel powerful, there may be some other conflicting feelings that come along with that. But right now, we're just focusing on specifically feeling powerful and feeling strong. My little alarm going off. It'll stop in a minute, a few seconds. So I'm powerful. So do you see yourself standing up to somebody, speaking up for yourself, making an unpopular choice, standing up for somebody else? Expressing yourself in a way that is outside of the status quo. So maybe being powerful feels a little scary because with power, there's an amount of separation and individuality. But for right now, we pay attention to that, but also we're really looking at what it means to feel powerful. Did you say what you really wanted to say? Do you feel powerful when you exercise? Do you feel powerful when you go running, cycling, or physical activity? Do you feel powerful at work? Are you a boss? Do you feel powerful when you help people? When you support people, can see what you have to offer. What makes you feel powerful? I'm powerful when. So If your eyes are closed or downcast, now shifting to writing down just a couple of notes. Maybe it's just a couple of words. If there's actually more that you want to write, if there's a vignette, maybe you saw something you haven't done yet that you dream about, something you wish you could do. I'm powerful when I do something in the future. Write it down, make some notes. Press pause if you want to go longer. And just make note of how it feels in your body. To contemplate what it feels like to be powerful. Sure, we know what it feels like to be powerless or feel powerless. Or maybe we don't think about it, we block it out. What we're thinking about is like tapping more into like, I know like what is it means to feel powerful. And even if you are journaling, maybe it's like taking a note about what are some of the conflicting emotions that come with that. Being afraid of rejection, isolation, being afraid of saying something that'll get you in trouble. Because I mean, the thing is about being powerful, about power, is that if we're not embodying it fully, I mean, it's always going to come with risks. There's always going to be the quality to power. If we're not embodied in it, there it's going to be unbearable. So we just avoid it. So let's move to the next prompt. I feel loved when. Take a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. I feel loved when. So now just close your eyes. Allow your imagination, your mind's eye, the feelings. Notice how that feels in your body, even to have that notion of like, I feel loved when. Do you feel loved when someone considers you? When someone thinks about you? When you're checked in on? When you're cherished? When you're seen? When someone notices something about you that they like and they point it out? Do you feel loved when you're physically held? Notice how other feelings come into play, like feelings of feeling safe, feelings of being happy. Maybe joy is involved with eating, having a great meal. Whatever it is, it's what you see inside yourself. And this is about receiving love. Notice if I feel loved has to do with actions that you take to love others. So for this, let's just notice what it feels like to be loved. Notice where there might be places possibly where love is conflated with other things, like being seen as pretty or being appreciated for your work. Where love can tie in other things, making it feel more complicated than, or just making it feel more complicated. Think of actions that people take to nurture you. To feel included, to feel surrounded, embraced. Just think about what it feels like to be, is it relaxed? A quality that transcends explanation. There's a lot of simultaneous factors of feeling safe, feeling happy, feeling, laughing, being accepted for who you are. Acceptance, acceptance, acceptance is a big one there. So I feel loved when. So what is this for you? So just explore that. Now, kind of when you come back from the imagination component of this, if you want writing down a few words, maybe there's a place, maybe there's a memory you have. Maybe it was in the bunkhouse at camp, or in a girl's trip, or a boy's trip, or a trip. Maybe it was in went on a retreat. Maybe it was at school. Maybe it's in it's like when you were a kid, it's in a bedroom with a group of friends, the door closed and snacks. Who knows? It's with your family, with your children, with your grandparents, with your husband, your wife, boyfriend, partner. Like, what are they doing? Write about it. Again, press pause if you want to go longer. And now we're going to flip to the next two. And so the second to last prompt here is, I'm showing love when I. How do I show love? I'm showing love when I. So how do you express love? We're in a new prompt here. I'm showing love when I. Think of your acts of love. Are they things that you do? Do you like to cook for people? Do you like to check in on people? Gifts for people? Give people a little shoulder massage. Pay attention to people. Maybe it's not people, animals, nature. I'm showing love when I. Maybe this is something people don't totally understand. And part of what we're surfacing here is the understanding of what it feels like to love for us. So I'm showing love when I do this. This isn't, there's no need to explain yourself. It's because this, or because this is what, it's like, this is what you do when you're showing love. These are the ways it feels good for you to love. Notice if there's anything where it's like the showing of love is very similar to what you need to feel loved. Maybe there's a connection there. And that your loving of other people is giving them what you experience as being the best of love. So I'm showing love when I maybe tidying up for somebody. Maybe you have guests coming and all the detail you put into preparing for them. Maybe you think, "Oh, well, this is just because I don't want them to, think my house is dirty or not have a good time." But just peel a little underneath that. It's like you want them to have a good time. And notice how showing love sometimes has these layers on it of the things that we're protecting, like protections. Like, I don't want people to see this about me. So just take a couple moments of that. Take your notes, write a couple sentences down, a couple thoughts, press pause if you want to write a little bit longer. I'm showing love when and this can be evocative because this is a place where we can be misunderstood, even with ourselves. It's like when you get really nervous for somebody, I don't want them to be disappointed or sad, but they feel judged, or maybe they feel rushed, or maybe they feel like um, their capability to solve something or deal with it is being undermined, or maybe they feel like you're adding anxiety to their situation. But that it's like at its heart, it's like a form of just wanting to protect somebody, right? So just noticing, even if there's things where it's like, oh, this gets misunderstood, and even our own level of understanding with it, leading to self-awareness that can actually help with the connection of that becoming a bit more clarified. So this leads us to our last prompt in this exercise, which is, I feel understood when. I feel understood when. I want to invite you to close your eyes for this. So I feel understood when. This is easy because it's not feeling understood is a lot more common than feeling understood. Being understood is a form of being seen. And then in addition to being seen, connecting. And having, in many cases it's, it can be, passive, but the activity or the action of actually seeking to understand is really a unique quality. So even if you think, I don't really feel understood, think to when you did feel understood. Maybe it was a grandparent. Maybe it's an old friend. Maybe it's somebody at work. And think about, like, what does it feel like to be understood? Do they ask questions? Does being understood involve inquiry? People want to understand more, so they ask. Or they're just people that just can tell you exactly how you feel because there's just such a match because they feel the same way. So is being understood being on the same wavelength as someone else? And what does that feel like? Think about like what that feels like in your nervous system to feel synced up with somebody. We're not focusing too much on what it feels like not to be understood, even though in this case it can really, in all of these, we can focus, we can lean into what it feels like not to. But we're not looking at absences as defining existences. We're just looking at the existence. We're thinking, I feel understood. What does it feel like to be understood? Does it give you energy? Does it calm you? Does it bring you joy? Is it specific people? Is it specific actions? Even are there specific places that you feel, maybe with animals or with nature, maybe with yourself? When you journal and you read yourself back, as you develop self-awareness, feel yourself understanding yourself and taking an interest in yourself. So take a moment here and write down anything that's really come up and write down what comes up and take your time with this. And if you want to write longer, press pause. And then just really pull forward anything that is like a revelation, a surprise. And you've invested 30 minutes now in this. So the takeaway here is you're pulling things forward out of putting this time, investing this time in yourself. You're pulling things forward that you can take with you to enhance your awareness of what are the things you like, to recognize them more readily, to make it more conscious. Like, what are the takeaways for you now? Like a couple words or notice, or maybe there's just one thing that just really stands out to you. It's really created a shift. It's like, wow, that's a revelation for me. And I'm going to take that forward. I'm going to really pay attention to that. So just take time to really bring it together in terms of something to bring forward. It's like I feel safe when, I feel joy when, I'm powerful when, I feel loved when, I'm showing love when I feel understood when. And that's yours. And that's yours. And that opening to create more feeling, more aperture for feeling good, feeling strong, feeling joy, feeling trust and calm and safety, showing understanding of yourself. That's for you. And you just did it for yourself. So I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of you. And you can come back to this periodically, however often you want to, or never again, whichever works. But I'm sending you lots of love. And yeah, that's it for today. And I'll see you next time when we talk about the long prompt, where we're going to investigate power. There's 2 third hubs that we're going to do. Both very different, but both very potent. That's the reason I put both of them in because neither of them could be I couldn't choose between them. Power is important. All right. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.